Everybody, and welcome to our first update of Paul's prized pepper plot. This is a garden plot that I'm going to grow this year just for peppers, and I thought I would take you through the first update and give you an overview of our indoor grow tent that we just set up a few weeks ago for starting seedlings. As you can see, we've basically taken a metal rack and turned it into a grow tent using a couple of lighting fixtures and some mylar blankets to help hold the light in and recycle as much as possible. And we've already got a bunch of stuff growing. We've already transplanted a good number of seedlings from germination into these peat pots. We've still got a few more to go. We chose peat pots this year just because it's very organic, earth friendly. We can plant them directly in the ground and really kind of try to be as green as possible. As you can see, the seedlings are doing pretty good so far. Most all of these are peppers with a variety from hot to sweet. I've tried to plant as many peppers as I could this year of lots of different heat levels and types and varieties. It's really a big initiative of ours this year. Also growing some super hots, but most of what you see here from the early batch is from some mild and medium peppers. You can see the foil. We're using these clips that we get at Home Depot, and you can actually just clip the blanket directly to the frame, which helps hold it in place pretty good. And you can unclip them and pull the blanket away to get access to it, and does a pretty good job. We're using two light fixtures with four T5 high output bulbs in each, 4-foot long fixtures, and they do a good job of keeping everything warm too. In Southern California here, it's not cold, but peppers like the heat, and so do tomatoes. So it keeps the tent right around upper 80s temperature range right now. We're also growing some really hot peppers. You can see in the red cup back there my one Buchaloki out of 6 that germinated. Trying another batch of super hots from germination too. I did a bad job for the first batch, but lots of different stuff growing. You can see in the back there my son actually is trying to grow a squash plant, and unfortunately we weren't sure if this thing was going to make it. When he put it in here, he accidentally pinched the stem, and you can see where it got pinched really bad right there, but even so, there's little buds coming out, and this thing has actually grown a lot. So, testament to the resilience of squash plants, I guess. We're also starting, as I mentioned, some new seeds. This is another batch of seedlings. These are all super hot peppers, variety of ghost chilies, habaneros, some scotch bonnets, and a few others. And they're finally coming through, but man, they grow much slower than the medium and mild peppers. Our banana peppers are like 4 times this size. So really these super hot peppers do grow pretty slowly. But you can see their true leaves are starting to come out on these ones now. So they're growing. We're also growing a lot of other vegetables for a very large garden actually. So a lot of these are tomatoes. The tomatoes are doing quite well actually. They really love the warm temperatures and the bright light just like the peppers do. We're trying to plant a variety of heirloom tomatoes, and there's some spinach in there and beans and squash and all kinds of stuff. This is our first year having access to a big garden area, and so we're really going to go after it this year. I've got another batch of seedlings. I mentioned my first batch of super hots had a really low germination rate. I ended up planting them too deep, like a half an inch or an inch deep. I made a mistake. So I ordered a new patch of seedlings from pepperjoes.com and redid these with a much shallower planting in these seedling trays, and hoping for good results. I just planted these a day ago, so they've just started, but I think I should get a better germination rate. I also planted some of those Pepper Joe's super hot seedlings into the double cup method that Kang, shout out to Kang Star, for really introducing me to this method with his YouTube channel. I'll put links in the show notes, and you can go check it out if you haven't seen it. Basically, I wanted to try growing from scratch some seedlings directly in the cups and not start them off in a seedling tray. This one right here is a red Scotch bonnet, and I tried labeling, but on the side with a Sharpie, but it kind of got rubbed off a little. And I'm also going to leave the tag in there. So I'm going to try to keep them in these cups as long as possible, hopefully transplant them in about a month or two as they grow. So I had the red Scotch bonnet. I've also got a red Savina habanero. And a lot of these, I've never grown any of these super hot peppers, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. And then this one right here is a Fatali, which I've actually never even tasted before, so I'm excited to see what it tastes like just by growing my own. So our setup is pretty good. It works well. There's quite a bit of space. We wrote on a lot of these pepper plants, we just wrote directly on the side of the peat pot with a Sharpie. You can see here that the banana peppers have been doing very well. They've been just growing. They're a little long. They got a little leggy when they first germinated, and we've got the grow lights. We didn't even actually have grow lights initially, so we got the grow lights, and they're doing really well now. Lots of leaves coming out. We got some poblano, some ancho chilies. I've even got a Anaheim chili. I love doing a lot of the stuffed chili recipes, so we're growing some of the milder, large ones. One little Scotch bonnet that we got out of the first batch of seedlings. Like I said, I didn't have a good germination rate, but I did get this guy to sprout and transplanted him in here, and he's doing pretty good. He's a lot smaller, much more compact than the other peppers like the poblanos and the anchos and the banana peppers. But he's doing good. You can see lots of new leaves coming out on him recently. So we're using a mixture of potting soil, some perlite in here to help improve the drainage. I also mixed in some organic fertilizer, the Job's Fast Start fertilizer in here. And we're just watering them for now, trying not to overwater them. This is an interesting one. It sprouted and I didn't have a record of what it was. So we'll find out what it is a little later. But it's doing well, actually, really, really good. It's already shooting some roots down into the second cup. These are the fertilizers I'm using right now. So I started with that Job's Fast Start, and then we'll transition to the all-purpose once we get out in the garden. In that box right there, I've actually got the general hydroponics, or the general hydroponics nutrient kits. I'm going to try doing the nutrient feeding method that Kang does, and a soil kit just to test our soil outside to make sure it's all well set up. So yeah, it's a good setup. We have actually got a lot of plants in there, but we need even more room, but I'm not sure where we're going to put some extra plants. You can see the lights. They're not too heavy. They're like 20 pounds each. But we've got them hanging from the racks with these cables or these cords that have ratchets on them. And you can adjust them down relatively easily. So as the plants grow, we'll raise the lighting up. I've got them on a timer right now, about 12 hours, 14 hours a day. Here you can see what kind of lighting system it is. We got it at a local hydroponics store, 2 of them now. Here's a list of all the peppers I'm growing. I was quite ambitious. I'm really trying to grow a lot of peppers, a mixture of mild, medium, and hot. A lot of the first batch of hots didn't grow, but you can see here I've got some new ones, like some Trinidad Scorpion, different kinds of habaneros, and I got all those from Pepper Joe's. So we're excited. Looking forward to an exciting pepper season, and we'll keep updating everyone as the peppers grow, and looking forward to sharing our progress, successes, and failures. Take care.